I've been playing Hunt Showdown almost daily for the past 4 years of my life, and I've been playing the game as a whole since its first week of early access. I don't normally make videos like this or videos at all recently, but I feel like the subreddit and a lot of discourse surrounding the Hunt community has really started to go downhill, and I just want to get some of this stuff off of my chest. Between the never ending discussions about the meta to the hot new trend of apparently just accusing everyone who kills you of cheating, I won't go into that topic today. But what I really want to talk about is vanilla hunt, also known as hunt when there's not an event going on. Listen, Hunt is one of the most unique, engaging, atmospheric games I've ever played, if not the most. The skill ceiling in Hunt is higher than anything that I can think of. The sheer number of layers of gameplay, strategy, subterfuge, stealth, tactics, weapon and map knowledge, it's unseen in any other game, especially any modern game. And Hunt kind of struggles from the blessing and curse of mass appeal, and that there isn't really any. There's no bright colors. There's not really any pop culture references unless you consider Easter eggs. The system requirements are high. The console versions of the game are lacking compared to the PC version, but it does have a really solid community and a bunch of dedicated players who know that there's really nothing else out there like it. There's nothing that competes with Hunt. It's completely unique. So those people stick with it. We stick with it. And the reality is that Vanilla Hunt Showdown is dead because Hunt Showdown with an event is Vanilla Hunt now. And Vanilla Hunt is kind of like the event. Events are the new baseline for the game. Crytek has said they want to lower the barrier to entry for the game and bring down its base price while supporting the game in other ways. And this is exactly what we're seeing. For what it's worth, the Battle Pass isn't expensive compared to any other live service FPS, and there's plenty of time to complete the event, as it goes by extremely fast if you do your weekly challenges. The premium skins are exactly what they are. They're premium. If you don't want to drop $10 to $15 on a skin, you don't have to. But so many people act like this is mandatory. I think another thing that Hunt kind of falters from in this area is that I've seen bigger YouTubers create videos about this game and they don't even know about the challenge system. They thought that the event was super grindy because they didn't realize that the challenge system was even part of the game. So a lot of it comes down to communication and tutorials and the user interface and these other kind of stumbling blocks that Hunt falls into. Now, I've been gaming for over 30 years of my life. I've been a part of a lot of communities. I've followed a lot of developers. And for what it's worth, I think Crytek does a pretty good job. They're relatively transparent, they're open to feedback, they listen to their community. And while they don't really ever get anything 100% right, I feel like they get things mostly right most of the time. And I feel like that's more than what a lot of other developers pull off. I really feel like the game's only gotten better and better over the years, despite a few outstanding bugs that they actually just squished in this 1.16 patch. The Necro sound bug is gone. The inventory purchasing bug is gone. Thank you guys. So, this is also Crytek's big live service and their first ever competitive game, in my opinion. And there's a lot of stumbling blocks and non starts that seem to have kind of gotten in their way, where there's these things that they start and they don't finish, like quests or trials, or the Book of Guns and Monsters really leaves a lot to be desired, and they have really good potential. Um, but I kind of feel like Crytek's finally hitting their stride. When I look at the Desolation's Wake event, I see cohesive weapon skins. I see a more cohesive story, just more cohesive visuals all around, even when it comes down to the color palette, which is saying something because I'm a color deficient person. So if I'm noticing it, surely other people are. And like, do I wish we got more or any things like micro events, like having a weekend long contract where it's shotguns only or $200 loadouts or testing out team based soul survivors or even doing something crazy like 4 player team maps just to test the game and see some features that don't have to exist during months long events. Another thing that I think what we're seeing with the events and all of the kind of cut and paste and reiterations of things is that while Crytek is a notable company, they're not a massive company. I'm not sure their total numbers, but I would wager that maybe Hunt Showdown has 50-ish people working on it, and not all those people are directly game devs. If you know anything about how games are made, there's plenty of people that go into helping make a game that aren't people writing code or doing anything with the visuals of the game. That being said, I think that Hunt's community isn't big enough to warrant a public test realm because you will split the already small community in half by doing a public test realm. They used to do it. I don't think it worked out for them, which is why we're seeing all these events back to back because these events are essentially they're testing us. We are live guinea pigs testing additions to the game, changes in mechanics to the game. They're gathering all of these metrics from our gameplay during these events, and then they're implementing in an iterative way. Each patch, we get little bits from past events snuck into the base version of the game. It's because doing a public test realm and cutting the player base in half is going to really hurt a game like Hunt, where sometimes at peak times it's hard to find a match, especially when there's not an event going on. So, as it stands now, I look forward to these objectives to grind and skins to unlock, and it usually costs me nothing since the battle passes essentially pay for themselves with the amount of blood bonds you get back and the ones that you accrue throughout matches and unlocking your dark tribute for the day. So, yeah, some of the event mechanics are repetitive and they are copy and paste, but at least something is going on. Events draw people in and they make Hunt a livelier and healthier game, which I don't think anyone can argue is a bad thing. One last thing worth mentioning is that I believe those of us with thousands of hours in the game who are active in its Discord and Twitch communities suffer from our own perspectives of the game, and that we have our noses essentially pressed right up against the glass, and we can't see the forest for the trees. We hyper focus on patch notes and every bit of information Crytek might send our way, inadvertently or directly, and there are literally thousands of other people that just fire up the game and go, haha, cool, spooky cowboy game. And then they play it for a bit and they log off and then they go on with their lives. And they never dive into anyone from Crytek's resume or anything they might have said in a YouTube video or a podcast interview from 6 years ago. Some of the current discourse surrounding the game seems to be coming from people who are brand new, which means a few things. For one, it means Hunt is doing well enough to keep bringing new players in, which is good. However, because Hunt is unlike any other game, I feel like some of the criticism aimed at the game is coming from the perspective of people who haven't fully grasped all of the game's mechanisms or objectives. Once again, it's not entirely their fault because the game doesn't do a great job of communicating this via its UI, its tutorial, or otherwise. And for better or worse, the meme about Hunt having a 1,000-hour tutorial is kind of sad but true. It's just there's so much to the game when you have new people come in and they get walled by a shot, they think someone's hacking, or when they don't understand all of the sound cues or the radiuses or the health chunk mechanics and what weapons do how much damage and when they can survive a hit and when they can't, or looking at the damage tracker and seeing where they were hit or where their shots landed. There's kind of a lot of these things that fly under the radar and make people just say that the game is bullshit. Anyways, I digress. If you're new to Hunt, or if you consider yourself a veteran, somewhere in between, doesn't matter. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I always find it interesting to hear from people who have varying levels of Hunt's bayou swamp water soaked into their souls, so please let me know. And I thank you guys for watching if you made it this far into the video, or if you didn't like it. I'd appreciate your feedback in the comments. Or you can come tell me live when I'm on Twitch. I'm live most weekdays, Monday through Friday from about 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time, and also in the evenings, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 p.m. until God knows when. Sometimes it's 2 in the morning. But until next time, game excellently with one another.
Yeah, you guys want to touch tips?